The Taliban just shocked everyone with a project unlike anything Afghanistan has attempted before. Deep in the north, the Kosh Tepa Canal is taking shape, an artificial river stretching across desert where no water ever flowed. At 115 meters wide, it dwarfs many of the world's iconic waterways. Once complete, it will divert nearly one-fifth of the Amu Darya River and irrigate more than 500,000 hectares of farmland. That expansion could increase Afghanistan's usable agricultural land by one-third and push the country toward true food self-sufficiency. Construction is relentless. Around 6,000 workers operate heavy machinery 24 hours a day, cutting through soil and sand at remarkable speed. The project's estimated cost is $684 million, with $100 million contributed directly by Taliban authorities. This investment is not symbolic. It reflects a decision to pour domestic resources into infrastructure that can permanently alter Afghanistan's economy. Unlike temporary relief or aid-based farming, the canal is a fixed transformation of land, water, and livelihood that locks Afghanistan into a new agricultural map. Yet this scale has consequences beyond Afghanistan's borders. The Amu Darya River also feeds Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, whose cotton industries depend on its waters. By redirecting such a large share, Afghanistan asserts its right to control upstream resources. The move is controversial because water in Central Asia is a matter of survival. What Afghanistan builds within its territory directly affects what others can grow and export. The canal, therefore, is more than an engineering feat. It is a geopolitical statement of control over the region's most valuable lifeline. The strategy does not end with canals. Across the country, dam construction has been prioritized to multiply Afghanistan's power. Dams such as Bakhshabad are not just designed to trap water for farming. They also generate hydroelectricity, bringing reliable power to regions that have historically relied on costly imports. This dual purpose means each structure is both an agricultural booster and an energy engine. In a nation where blackouts are common and industries run below capacity, electricity from domestic dams can shift the balance towards stability. The political message is equally strong. When the Taliban restart or expand dam projects despite disputes with neighbors, they demonstrate that Afghanistan will not wait for consensus to act. Iran has already argued over shared rivers, but new construction continues regardless. Each dam tightens control over downstream flows while strengthening Afghanistan's ability to negotiate from a position of leverage. Instead of dependence on external grids and foreign fuel, dams create a foundation for food, energy, and bargaining power. That leverage is designed to last for generations. Another notable aspect is efficiency. Reports suggest corruption in these new infrastructure projects has been reduced compared to earlier governments. Where past investments often disappeared into private accounts or unfinished work sites, current projects are showing progress that is visible on the ground. This does not mean the system is flawless, but the visible continuation of canals and dams provides evidence that resources are actually being used to deliver results. In a region where half-built structures have been the norm, the completion of projects becomes a powerful message of credibility. While canals and dams shape rural economies, a very different project is reshaping Afghanistan's urban future. Kabul New City is not a single block of apartments. It is a master plan development larger than most modern capitals. Covering 722 square kilometers, almost 1.5 times the size of today's Kabul, it is intended to absorb millions of residents, universities, commercial districts, clinics, and green zones. The vision is a city of the future built on Afghan soil, designed to relieve overcrowding while presenting a new model of modern living. Phase 1 alone is divided into more than 200 sections, each functioning as a planned neighborhood. Golden City, one of the initial districts, is designed to house over 23,000 people across 42,000 residential units. Construction has already begun in segments like Parcel B and Parcel 2.6, with investments crossing hundreds of millions of dollars. In 2024, a single expansion announced a $700 million commitment, showing how serious the plan is. The project is not a distant dream. Work is underway, and the foundations are visible. Kabul New City is more than an answer to housing shortages. It represents a symbolic reconstruction of Afghanistan's identity. Universities, clinics, shopping centers, and recreational parks are planned alongside housing blocks. Reliable infrastructure, from water and electricity to schools and hospitals, is part of the blueprint. For a nation often associated with instability and decay, the announcement of a 30-year, phased city-building project projects confidence in a stable future. It is an attempt to create not just shelter, but a functional urban ecosystem that anchors the capital. If Kabul New City succeeds, it would be one of the largest planned cities in Asia. That matters because Afghanistan has not historically been associated with urban modernization. By designing a new hub to house up to 3 million people, the leadership is effectively declaring that they see their rule extending far into the future. Roads, parks, and housing can be rebuilt after conflict, but the scale of a 30-year plan reflects ambition for continuity. In that sense, Kabul New City is as much a political statement as it is an engineering challenge. Afghanistan's position on the map has always mattered more than its size. Sitting between South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East, the country is a natural crossroads. In 2025, that location became more valuable with the expansion of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Worth $60 billion, the corridor links China's Xinjiang province to the Arabian Sea through Pakistan. Now, by including Afghanistan, it gives Beijing a direct path into Central Asia and access to Afghanistan's untapped mineral wealth. For Kabul, it secures trade routes and infrastructure investments that once seemed unreachable. The Trans-Afghan Railway takes that concept further. Costing $4.8 billion and running 573 kilometers, it is one of the most ambitious engineering undertakings in the region. The project demands more than 300 bridges and 5 tunnels carved through unforgiving terrain. Yet if completed, it will slash transit times from 35 days to just 4. That speed transforms Afghanistan from a landlocked obstacle into a logistics hub. Goods from Uzbekistan can move through Afghanistan to Pakistani ports, creating a trade artery that bypasses traditional bottlenecks. Linking westward, the Herat Railway adds another dimension. Operational since 2023, this rail line connects Afghanistan to Iran's network, and with it, to global shipping lanes through the Persian Gulf. The first shipments were modest, 655 tons of railway equipment, but the symbolism was powerful. For the first time, Afghanistan gained a functioning westward corridor capable of plugging the country directly into international markets. This means copper, lithium, or agricultural goods no longer need to pass exclusively through Pakistan. Iran provides an alternative gateway. Pipelines carry even greater weight than railways, and the TAPI project has returned to life. Named for the countries it links, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India, the pipeline is designed to move 33 billion cubic meters of natural gas each year. For Afghanistan, that pipeline is not only steel under the soil, it is an economic artery projected to deliver nearly $1 billion annually in transit fees while creating thousands of jobs. In 2024, construction restarted on Afghan soil after more than 2 decades of delays, turning an old dream into a possible reality. The revival of TAPI also ties Afghanistan into broader regional energy grids. By hosting a pipeline stretching 1,821 kilometers, the country is positioned as an unavoidable middle point for energy flows southward. For Turkmenistan, it unlocks new markets. For Pakistan and India, it secures fuel for rapidly growing populations. For Afghanistan, it generates revenue and influence. Every cubic meter of gas passing through becomes leverage. With projects like TAPI, Kabul transforms its geography into something far more valuable than borders. It becomes indispensable to its neighbors. Energy transmission does not stop with gas. Electricity grids are being stitched together in ways that put Afghanistan at the center of cross-border supply. The CASA 1000 project is the clearest example. Valued at $1.2 billion, the system is designed to send hydroelectric power from Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan through Afghanistan and into Pakistan. The network will carry 1,300 megawatts, with Afghanistan retaining 300 for its own use, while 1,000 continues south. For cities struggling with outages and industries desperate for power, those numbers are not abstract. They are lifelines. The details of CASA 1000 are just as striking as the vision. In 2024, the World Bank approved its resumption, despite not officially recognizing the Taliban government. To manage this contradiction, a special ring-fenced payment system was created. Under this design, revenue from the project is handled outside Taliban control, ensuring transparency for international stakeholders while still allowing construction to move forward. The outcome is unusual. Afghanistan benefits from infrastructure on its soil, its citizens receive power, but funds never flow directly through its rulers' hands. It is a compromise born of necessity. This arrangement demonstrates something rarely acknowledged about Afghanistan today: pragmatism. By agreeing to ring-fenced payments, Kabul signaled it is willing to allow international structures to operate in exchange for tangible benefits. For ordinary Afghans, the result is electricity for homes and industries. For Pakistan, it is a critical supplement to its overstretched grid. For Central Asia, it creates an export market for surplus hydropower. And for the Taliban, it shows that even without recognition, they can still turn Afghanistan's geography into profit and influence. Geography once seen as a burden is now an asset. While energy projects connect Afghanistan to its neighbors, minerals beneath its soil promise to connect it to the world. Trillions of dollars worth of lithium, copper, and rare earths lie untapped, and global demand for these resources is only climbing. Lithium powers electric car batteries, copper is the backbone of electronics, and rare earth elements drive everything from smartphones to military hardware. Afghanistan holds all three. Unlike grain or gas, these materials are strategic. Whoever extracts them controls entry into the industries of the future. For the Taliban, this is a buried fortune waiting to be unlocked. One project stands as a symbol of this potential: the Ainak copper mine. China has held rights to the site for 15 years, but repeated instability kept production on hold. In 2024, that changed. With Taliban security forces providing protection and stability, Chinese teams restarted operations. This was more than a ribbon-cutting ceremony. It was a test case. If Ainak moves forward without disruption, it sets a precedent for other mines across the country. Afghanistan could become a serious supplier of copper, just as global demand surges for renewable energy infrastructure. Revenue is already flowing. In 2022, the Taliban collected an estimated $1.54 billion in tax revenue, much of it drawn from mining and reconstruction industries. That money has not only padded budgets, but also financed new infrastructure. The cycle is deliberate. Mineral wealth funds, roads, and tunnels. Those roads and tunnels allow easier extraction, and the cycle repeats. By reinvesting earnings into projects like railways or dams, Afghanistan builds the logistical foundation for deeper exploitation of its resources. This is not extraction for its own sake, it is a self-sustaining loop. One of the most visible reinvestments was the Salang Tunnel reconstruction. Built by the Soviets in 1964, the tunnel at 11,000 feet above sea level is both a lifeline and a death trap. Narrow, filled with choking fumes, and prone to avalanches, it was designed for 2,000 vehicles daily, but carries up to 9,000 at peak times. For decades, it symbolized Afghanistan's inability to modernize. In 1982, it even witnessed one of the deadliest road accidents in history, killing thousands. That legacy has long haunted Afghan infrastructure. In December 2023, that story shifted. Taliban authorities announced they had rebuilt the Salang Tunnel at a cost of $100 million, roughly a quarter of the nation's annual tax revenue. This reconstruction was not simply a repair job, it was a demonstration that revenues from minerals and taxes could be poured back into national infrastructure. For the people, it meant safer travel and stronger economic links between North and South. For the leadership, it meant proof that domestic wealth could create visible, large-scale improvements without reliance on foreign aid. Every canal, railway, pipeline, and tunnel adds up to a larger picture. Afghanistan is no longer portrayed as only a battlefield. It is being repositioned as a hub of connections, where goods, power, and resources converge. This transformation is still fragile, but it is also undeniable. Projects once stalled for decades are moving forward. Resources once trapped underground are entering the global market. Roads once labeled deadly are being rebuilt. Whether these ambitions succeed or fail, they will shape not only Afghanistan's future, but also the balance of power across the entire region.